Fly fishing is often referred to as an art. As early back as 2,000 years ago, people have been using this technique to catch fish. Fly fishing is a much more complicated version of traditional casting, also called spin casting. The point of spin casting is to get a heavy lure to a point of your choosing while having an almost weightless line follow it. In fly fishing, the purpose is to get an almost weightless fly to a point of your choosing while being guided by a weighted line. You must practice this art before perfecting it, because unlike in traditional casting, fly fishing never allows you to get lucky and catch a fish. You have to know exactly what you are doing. In the movie we watched earlier this year, A River Runs Through It, we are able to see the true excitement of fly fishing. I have been fly fishing for about a year now, and it is something that I have fallen in love with. Something about it makes it so soothing. You will never fully understand what it is that it does to you until you experience it for yourself. When the brisk water is running against your legs and the sun is shining on your back, it is truly an amazing experience. It isn't the catching a fish that makes it all that, though. Sure, catching a nice trout can add to the experience immensely. That said, I could easily enjoy a nice fishing outing without a single bite. To me, fly fishing is much more than just fishing. It is a way that I am able to forget about it all and just think and relax. It is a way that I can get in touch with nature and just enjoy what is around me. I am sure many remember Joe St. Cyr. Joe added to my experience greatly. He was the one who had taught me how to fly fish, in the lake right here on campus. It was around this time of year when Joe first brought me out there and showed me just how amazing the art can be. Within minutes, I had a fish on, and it was in that moment I fell in love with it. I had never had so much fun fishing. What many of you may not know is many teachers on campus also share the same passion. Some of those teachers include Mr. Maltz and Mr. Benson. Mr. Benson was introduced to the art by his father. He was lucky enough to spend his summers in the dreamlands of fly fishing, Montana, along the banks of the Gallatin and Madison River. When asked what he loved about it, he answered with how it takes you to the most beautiful places. Here is what he is referring to. That is pure beauty. He also added how you always enjoy who you're with, some good friends or even a family member. In this case, his father and his grandfather. Similarly to me, he also enjoys the clear sense of mind and the focus on the moment and what is going on in the water. Today he finds his home river along the Snake River in Idaho, behind the Grand Teton mountain range. His favorite experience in his many years of fly fishing was the first time him and his father went to the Bahamas to fish for bonefish. Through his experience, he was able to become a guide in Jackson, Wyoming for 10 years, and he continues to enjoy the art today. Mr. Maltz is another avid fly fisherman on campus. Mr. Maltz started differently from Mr. Benson and I. He started after finals his senior year of college, the week before graduation, as more of a last-minute excursion. The trip proved to be unsuccessful, up until the last 5 minutes where he was able to catch a small brook trout. For someone who has little experience, this accomplishment may seem minute, but anyone who can relate will know just how exciting this would be. Among all three of us, Mr. Benson, Mr. Maltz, and I, all had the same impression on the mindfulness of the art. It is amazing how focused and how much concentration you need. This is something that Mr. Maltz expressed heavily. What I marveled at mostly is how you could see how amazed he was, in his eyes. You could tell by the way he was talking, this is something he truly loves. To end the conversation, I asked him what his favorite moment in his fly fishing career was. It was during an outing with his friend, along with Mr. Maltz's 8-year-old son. Him and his son noticed a rainbow trout rising to the surface continuously. After almost 50 attempts, his son finally got his first hookup. Unfortunately, the fish broke off, and Mr. Maltz looked down at his son, who had started to cry. To his astonishment, Mr. Maltz realized his son was not actually crying out of sadness, but out of joy that he had finally snagged his first fish. Mr. Maltz had expressed to me how proud he was of his son in that moment. It was clearly extremely amazing for him. Fly fishing is a way of life. It is an extremely amazing and intricate art, and if you have never tried it, I would highly recommend it to anyone. It is a way to get in touch with nature and a way to clear your mind by making you focus on nothing but the water.